North and South Korea have reportedly spent the last few days trying to organize some kind of diplomatic chit-chat before next month's Olympics. And that sounds great, right? Well, the problem is North Korea is also reportedly preparing for yet another long-range missile test. So will the president's warnings bring us back from the brink or only push us closer? The Daily Beast columnist and author of Nuclear Showdown, North Korea Takes on the World, Gordon Chang, is back. Welcome back, Gordon.
Thanks so much, Kennedy.
So you have pointed out that the president in his first tweet actually had the right response, saying that sanctions are finally working. North Korea is feeling the effects of this financial chokehold, and we're starting to see results. He should have stopped there, though, right?
Yeah, he had two tweets yesterday about North Korea. And the one in the morning was really good because, you know, if we're going to have a peaceful solution to this, it's because Trump's sanctions are actually going to deny Kim the money to launch those missiles and detonate those nukes. But we got to talk about it, and we need to get support not only from our friends like the Japanese, the South Koreans, but also we got to back away the Chinese and the Russians who have been smuggling oil to the North Koreans. Well, you know, we're not talking about that, and we're also not talking about Nikki Haley's really good words at the UN yesterday when she mentioned the U.S. negotiating position.
And she said we will not settle for a nuclear-armed North Korea. So that is certainly a red line that this administration has drawn through a number of surrogates, including Ambassador Haley.
Yeah, I mean, and what she did was she set the terms for negotiation, basically told the Chinese and the Russians they aren't going to be able to do what they want at talks. But of course, we're not talking about Haley's words. We're not talking about sanctions right now, where everyone is just sort of mesmerized by, you know, Trump's tweet in the evening.
Is it misdirection, though? I mean, that's what I'm wondering. Is it some sort of misdirection because he knew what was coming? Some of the quotes from Steve Bannon in this new Michael Wolff book. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But I'm wondering if the president ratcheted it up as a distraction. Or the other alternative is maybe there's some utility here. Maybe, you know, he's got some scheme that he's pulling that will actually work psychologically on Kim Jong-un. What do you think?
Well, I'd like to think that there was some thought beforehand, but it really looked like this schoolyard tweet. I think the important thing here is if you look at the policy options that Trump has on North Korea, none of them were helped by last evening's tweet about the size of his button.
Yeah.
So at this point, you know, I don't think that it was really related to anything else. If it was, great for the president. I hadn't thought about that, but it just doesn't make sense in the context of everything else he's trying to do on North Korea.
Yeah. I mean, so far, I guess it's kind of worked. Something has worked. Now, what about North Korea sending a delegation to the Olympic Winter Games? See, I think if that happens and they actually send athletes to an international event, everyone involved with the delegation, from coaches and trainers, doctors, and of course the athletes, I think they're all going to defect. Every single one of them.
And many of them will. You know, we saw in the Joint Security Area, which is like where the best of North Korean soldiers are on the demilitarized zone. That soldier who defected on November 13th, that dramatic escape, he had uncooked kernels of corn in his intestines, which means that they're malnourished. Even the ones that Kim has all the incentive in the world to feed, he can't do it. And so we know the sanctions are working. There are other things, you know, junior officials in Pyongyang who are part of the favored class, they're not getting their rations through the special distribution system. There's all sorts of evidence that Trump's plan is working. Now, it needs to work more.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, we're on the right path. We need to talk about that, though, and that's why I'm concerned about...
Does diplomacy still have a shot here?
Yeah. I mean, as long as we can make sure that, you know, Kim doesn't get money, at some point he's going to have to come to the table because he realizes he has no choice.
And you think he's going to go to South Korea before he goes to China?
Oh, yeah, definitely. But, you know, he may not even go to South Korea. The thing here, though, is we also got to back the Chinese off to make sure they're not going to support the North Koreans. Now, Trump has the ability to do that. The question is whether he has the political will.
Yeah.
Because if there is a peaceful diplomatic solution, it's when the Chinese tell the North Koreans, you got to give up your weapons. Chinese have the power to do it.
I think it's better to punch China in the face
Absolutely.
than to bomb North Korea. But we'll see how this all turns out. It could go so many ways thanks to the president's unpredictability. Gordon Chang, thank you so much.
Thanks, Kennedy.
Good to see you.